So I take issue with the idea that news outlets have to stop being unbiased, or stop pretending to be unbiased, as you would put it, that they're naturally biased. You know, this is something that Foucault, with his deconstructionism, would say that everything is subjective and nothing is unbiased, is simply impossible. Well, there's something in science called confirmation bias, and it's somewhat measurable what confirmation bias is. And I believe this is the root of all bias to a certain extent. Is confirmation bias means when you have a theory or a preconceived conclusion, you go about looking for evidence to confirm that conclusion. You don't try to seek any evidence that would contradict that conclusion, possibly even going so far as to completely ignore evidence that would contradict your conclusion. In everyday life, people have biases. When people say random things on the street, you may discount it, saying that person doesn't know what they're talking about. They're ignorant, they're stupid, they don't have their facts straight, okay? That's bias. That's bias. It's saying someone's told me something and I'm not going to automatically believe it. I have my own conclusions and it doesn't fit in with my theory about how the world works, so that other person obviously is wrong, okay? That's how bias works, okay? But in scientific circles and in news agencies where you're doing investigative journalism, you should research all the facts. You should actively seek to contradict your conclusions. That's where the most interesting stuff happens, and that's where the news agencies are failing nowadays. That's what Fox News does. They're famous for it. What they do is they've got this line of reasoning and they go out searching for facts to confirm that line of reasoning. Once they find what they're looking for, they stop looking, okay? It's lazy. It's intellectually lazy, and it produces an ignorant audience, okay? And it's bad. And saying that, oh, they're just pretending to be fair, that's only part of the crime. Number one is that they're biased to begin with. That's the first crime. The second crime is they're lying about it, saying they're unbiased, which is not true, okay? So it's two crimes, all right? And Fox News goes so far as to lie, to outright lie, okay? Which is even worse, all right? And that's getting into something beyond just bias. That's propaganda. That's pushing a secret agenda and constructing facts out of thin air to convince other people to sign on to your agenda when you don't want them to know what your secret agenda is, okay? So bias is not a good thing, okay? I try not to be biased. I try to look at all evidence. I don't celebrate bias. I see it as part of the human condition, but it's a bad part of the human condition. I think people need to discipline their minds with scientific methods in order to achieve a level of unbias. I think bias is something that does not contribute anything to the world in general, okay? The only thing is bias is for self-preservation, all right? Bias is self-preservation when confronted with lots of conflicting so-called facts, okay? So that's all I'm going to say for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.